Arsenal Fulham this weekend. Crunch time. I'm actually quite confident. I don't really know why. I don't know where this is coming from. This is kind of an intuition I have. It's not really based on much tactical, astute nous, other than the left hand side, which we'll get into in a second. I just think I have a feeling we're going to sneak past them. It will mean that we need to score 2 goals. That is a slight issue because we haven't scored 2 goals in the league since March 14th. In fact, we haven't scored 2 goals in all competitions since March 18th. So there's not much difference. So that's going to be a slight problem. I guess from Fulham's perspective, you can look at that. If we flip it round for a second, you can look at that and you can say, oh, if we get 2 goals, if we can aim to score 2 goals at the Emirates, then we probably aren't going to lose. We'll draw at worst. So from that perspective, however, I do think we're going to break that 1 goal duck and we're going to get to 2 goals tomorrow. Who's going to get them? I don't know. I don't know the lineup. That's the thing. We don't know with Arteta. These predictions are a little bit tricky because you don't know what he's going to do from game to game. However, I do think he's going to start Hincapié, and I do think that's a good idea because Wilson is going to be Fulham's main attacking threat, a main sort of orchestrator of everything. And I think Hincapié is in good form defensively. Massive question marks over him coming forward, of course. But if we're going to talk about specifically stopping Wilson, the biggest threat that Fulham have, let's be fair, then I think he is the man for the job as opposed to Calafiori, who's maybe better suited to start against Atleti when you need a goal kind of thing, when you need to push more for a goal and be a bit more attacking. God knows if we will, but we will come to that game in the next few days. First up, we have Fulham, and the result of this game could have a bearing on our performance in against Atleti, because if we pam Fulham or we just beat Fulham, let's say, we're going to go into that game with a lot of confidence. If we don't, things could get a bit tricky. Things could get a bit sticky. So yeah, looking to tomorrow then anyway, another evening kickoff, 5:30. We're going to be probably starting with a similar lineup, injuries permitting, than we had against Atleti. So, I mean, I'm expecting him to go. Well, I think Odegaard's actually injured, isn't he? I did see that. Well, let's rephrase that. They're saying he's injured. Whether he's actually... It's very strange that he keeps getting these injuries after these substitutions. This has happened before earlier on in the season when he's been subbed off for like 57, 58 minutes. Suddenly, he's injured the next game. And it's all a little bit suspicious. You never know with this club. And you know anyway in football a lot of shenanigans goes down. But let's say Eze's coming into the central midfield. Otherwise, I expect it to be kind of unchanged. Like, I don't know if Trossard and Martinelli are both fit, so flip a coin, one of them will start, especially if Odegaard is out. But otherwise, I expect it to remain the same. Not sure if White is going to make it. Maybe Mosquera will go in at right back. And I actually think Mosquera might start right back against Atleti. But like I say, we'll come to that later. But by and large, I would expect the same team. I would expect Gyökeres up front. He may start Saka over Madueke. I don't think Saka was very effective when he came on, but then he is coming back from a serious injury, likely playing injured. So how effective can he really be? So it wouldn't surprise me to see Madueke in there. But, this is the fourth till last game in the Premier League. I think he's going to push to put Saka in. But it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more cautious football. It's going to be more... Let's say, for example, if we go 1-0 up early, it's going to be sit back. We know it's going to be something like this. We're not going to be seeing an entertaining 3-2 Bayern PSG-esque exceptional... I'm trying to think of the word. I can't remember the word I was trying to think of, but you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to see some extravaganza. That's the X word I was searching for. It's not going to be an extravaganza. It's not going to be a feast of football. Sorry to sound negative. Sorry to inform you, but it's just called realism. So I'm going to go with a sneaky little 2-1. I think we're going to get 2 goals in a game. I have this... The thing in football, once you've been watching football for a long time, you start to see certain patterns evolving, not just on the pitch with tactics and results, but with the way that people talk about the game pre-game, with the way the media circulates things, with the way that pundits and commentators make predictions and say things like, Fulham have now got things to play for. Oftentimes when there's an emphasis on something like that, it all just falls apart. It never comes to fruition. So this has been quite pushed by myself as well at points over the past week or so that, yes, Fulham have at least the Conference League to play for. They could well get into the Europa League if memory serves me right. So they've got something to play for. They should have more for us than Newcastle. And do you know what football's like? Oftentimes when that's the case, they don't bring anything to the table. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to be lauded up as going to be this super difficult game because they're going for Europe. And I'm not saying it's not going to be a tough game. I just don't think they're going to beat us 2-1 like a lot of people have been predicting. And I don't think we're going to draw 1-1. I think we're going to score more than one goal, which we'll all be really happy about. And the team, that will help the team as well because they will know that they're not scoring. Obviously, they know. And they will be thinking about the fact that they've not scored more than one goal since March the 18th. And when they do score 2 against Fulham, that's going to put them in good stead for the Atleti game. So that's why, all of that is why I'm going to go for a sneaky 2-1. I am definitely not saying we're going to batter them. I just think we are going to just have enough, especially as they've got, I think, Session's out, Iwobi's out. They've got a couple of other injuries. I expect Wilson to be dealt with by Hincapié. So unless Emil Smith-Rowe comes with an utter masterclass, I don't see them giving us enough. Now our fatigue could come into play as well. Let's not rule that out. But I just think overall we'll have a bit too much. We'll squeeze past them. And that 2-1 will set us in good stead for Tuesday because we need to be set in good stead. If I'm completely wrong, then fucking hell, God help us on Tuesday. So let's hope I am not wrong. So yes, I will be back after the game with a match reaction. So see you guys then in a bit.